Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 988 for the 7th of November. The frontline changes report is already out, but the viewership is low. Because got clashed 1 hour later. Military summary posted video, so yeah, that's just what happened. Because someone asked, if the channel is suppressed. It is not sure, but most likely it's just because of the competition. Yeah, the market is too small. So anyway, we're going to start off with the Kursk front first. So just to mix things up. So over at the Kursk front, the strategic situation have not really changed. Russian forces are still fighting at Leonidovo, Novoivanovka, Darino, Nikolaevo Darino, as well as Bakhmut. Ukrainian forces are counterattacking over at Novoivanovka as well as Darino. They are also attacked Novaya Sorkina in the north. So currently, this is the strategic situation. For those that are interested, from Novoivanovka all the way to Plakovo is 29 kilometers. So it's really far. This is a pretty big front line. So it might not look like it, but it's actually huge. This is a very huge front line. The Ukrainians did indeed capture a lot of grounds. You have to zoom in so much to see the house, you see. So, however, the only weird thing is this one, this Ukrainian attack towards Novaya Sorokina reported by the Russian Defense Ministry. So, but that's the only thing that is out of norm. Otherwise, everything is pretty, normal in a very dreadful sense. In the Kursk front. Over at the Kharkiv front, the Russian forces continue to harass Ukrainians across the border. Over the Velika Pasarivka region, Russian forces are attacking Ukrainian forces at Velika Pasarivka as well as Dmitriivka. So very unusual. Not sure if this is some kind of assault, but definitely they are putting fire on Ukrainian forces in these two regions. And then across the area, Kozacha Lopan continued to be reported to be under attack by the Russian forces. Geolocation of Ukrainian forces on the opposite side of the lake at Mari Pokodi getting hit. I think this by drone, FPV drone. So, and nothing at Lipsy. Instead of studies here this time round, we have fighting reported over at Ibiske, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. Most likely, this is just a fire attack. They're just shelling on Ukrainian forces, and fighting is also reported at Voschansk. Otherwise, I think it is still pretty much harassment. I don't think this is a assault or an offensive operation from the Russian side. We move into the Kupiansk front. At the Kupiansk front, the Russian forces are fighting at Kindrashivka as well as Petropavlivka. So, but otherwise, forgot to mute my WhatsApp again. Otherwise, nothing much is happening right here. At the Pischane front, fighting continues in this area at Senkove, Kuliakivka, Koliniskivka, as well as Lozova. Shelling is also reported at Novoplatonivka, but tentatively, this is the situation over at Pischane front. Moving further south, at the Svatove front, fighting is reported towards Druzhlyubivka, Kharkivka, Makievka, and Katerinivka. All this information are mostly coming from the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. So the Ukrainians are reporting these major attacks along this area here. Moving further south, over in the Crimea front, fighting is reported over at Terny, Bilohorivka, Yampolivka, Torske, as well as Dibrova. The thing of Dibrova is actually from the yesterday's morning report, which may be reporting on the things the day before, which is on the 6th. So on the 7th, the Dibrova was not mentioned, but because the report came after I did the SITREP, so yeah, that is what it is. Over the Siversk front, we have fighting reported at Krihorivka, Serebianka, Siversk, Perezne, as well as there is some frontline change over Ivano-Darivka, with the Russian forces continue to push north of Ivano-Darivka. Perezne is the more outstanding one to me, because we haven't seen Russian attack for some time in this area. Serbianka and Kurakhove continues to be the kind of like phantom attacks. You can't really tell how they attack, where they attack. So tentatively, this is the current situation in Siversk. But this update, this geolocation, this frontline change continues to look very interesting to me in this area here. So we shall see how this goes. From Siversk all the way to the current front line is around 7 kilometers. So from this north of Ivano-Darivka, so it's still quite a bit of distance. Over in Bakhmut, Bakhmut front, in the northern flank, fighting is reported at Privilia for the first time. There's fighting reported at Minkivka, and shelling is reported at Mykolaivka. So this is interesting to see Privilia being mentioned by the Russian Defense Ministry for the first time. We shall see how this continue to develop, whether this is an offensive. Over in the southern flank, we have fighting reported at Stupovsky and towards Bilahora. Otherwise, that's all. Over at the New York front, the fighting is primarily over in the Torex region. So we zoom in. Fighting is reported at Dilievka, Dashne, Torex, as well as Skibinivka. But otherwise, that's all. Nothing particularly stands out to me. Over in the northern flank of the Pokrovsk front, fighting is reported at Mariolubivka and Novo Alexandrivka. There is frontline changes as per map by Ukrainian mapping. This shows the Russians have taken most of this entire tree line, straightening the front line, making it more defendable, I guess. But that's about it. I tentatively do not feel like this is a major push yet. This is the first time we've seen Novo Alexandrivka being under attack or attacking in that region in a long time. So let's see. The last attack was being reported on the 31st. No, so it's not a common thing to see fighting over here nowadays. Over in the Pokrovsk sector of the Pokrov front, fighting is reported at Promin, Krutia, Sukia, as well as Lisivka. There's shelling reported at Pokrovsk itself, but that's all. So yeah, nothing special here. Over in the south, in the Selidove region, fighting is reported at Selidove, towards Petrivka, and fighting is reported at Novo Oleksievka. And this is the major news for the past 24 hours. Russian forces have captured Novo Oleksievka according to the Ukrainian mapping. They have considered Novo Oleksievka, and geolocation has confirmed that at least the northern half is definitely under Russian control. But Ukrainian mapping basically mapped the entire village is captured by the Russian forces. So this have to be it. So this area is now under Russian control. Yet another collapse of the Ukrainian position. Nowadays, every single day we are seeing villages and settlements getting captured. So this is a very probably very depressing for the pro-Ukrainian crowd. Especially, I'm sure they are anti-Trump at the same time. And then Trump won. Then Ukraine losing. Kursk offensive failed. Kamala Harris. Kamala. Yeah. Must be hellish to be on that side of the world. Over in the Sukherini region, fighting is reported at Novodimitrivka. Some tiny frontline change, which is not worth mentioning. Fighting is reported towards Sonsivka, Kremina Balka, and Novoselidivka. There's a geolocation at the front line. Doesn't change the front line per se. It does. Yeah, it's basically at the front line. So I didn't really change the front line for that. Sonsivka was mentioned for the first time, I guess, by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. So the previous time Sonsivka was mentioned is by the Russians. So this is the first time we see Sonsivka as well, which means the Russians are now already advancing in this direction. So that's all from this area. In this direction, you can see it's moving towards the Ulakli, Shevchenko, and this will allow them to attack the other hub, then Constantinople and Andriivka, which will cut off the retreat for the Ukrainians from Kurakhove. So this is happening. Over in the Kurakhove sector, so I can drop off the Khernik sector already because now this entire area is just Kurakhove. So as mentioned, there's fighting report at Novoselidivka. Shelling is being reported at Stary Terny. This is on the western part of this lake around here. And geolocation of Russian forces entering Ilinka was actually geolocated. Fighting is reported at Ilinka, Stepanivka. Somehow Russian Defense Ministry mentioned Otrivske. So probably in this area here, and fighting is reported at Kurakhove and Maximilianivka. So this current strategic situation over in the Kurakhove sector. Oh my god, I need to turn off my Steam. It's very irritating. Wait. Yeah, turn off already. Yeah, it is. Sometimes my computer just restarts on its own when I was sleeping because I don't off my computer. Then my computer just restart, and it just restarts all the apps despite I already closed it the previous time. So anyway, this is the current situation over at Kurakhove. Yeah, you can see the very mass concentration of forces in this area. The lake, for those that interested, is 8 kilometers long. So the lake from one end to another end is 8 kilometers. So that's interesting to me. Over in the south. So just now I was like that. So we didn't see down there. But the fightings from Maximilianivka towards down there as well, that's current happening. Fightings reported from Konstantinivka to Antonivka. Antonivka was already claimed to be captured by the Russian Defense Ministry, but there is still fighting reported here by the Ukrainians. There's fighting also reported at Katerinivka, also by the Ukrainians. Somehow there is no fighting at the Ilinka here, and no fighting being reported at Yelizaveta. So yeah, that's weird. Over in the on the Uspenivka region, so I will put it like this. Fighting is reported at Trudove, Bohofivlenka. Fighting is now moving towards Sukiali, Maximivka, as well as Yasna Polyana. And in this, the main big frontline change is over in the Yasna Polyana region. Ukrainian mapping have shown that the Russian forces have captured all the grounds between Yasna Polyana and Maximivka. So this is a continuation of the collapse of this Donetsk front line, South Donetsk front line. So the collapse is not ending yet; it's still collapsing, and it will continue to do so. It will continue to collapse until they meet where the Ukrainian defense line actually is, the next Ukrainian defense line. As I mentioned, this entire area is very hard to defend because of how the front line has been changing. So the defense line is, like I mentioned, is going to be at Trudove. They're protecting Uspenivka. The next defense line is probably along the river here already. I don't think they are able to make some good defense. Maybe here, maybe this line could do, but the front line will continue to move north until they meet all these lines. So the line will be along the road. So the Russians will continue to make progress all along this area here. So this is what I expect, and I believe the front line will continue to collapse towards Rozdone as well. So this Russian advance in the South Donetsk will continue. The Ukrainian lines will continue to collapse until we reach the next rigid defense line. So that's what I want to tell you guys. Over the Velika Novosilka, so the fighting towards Rozdone continue, and there's fighting reported towards Velika Novosilka. There's something else. Yeah, the shelling reported at Korma. So over in this area just now we didn't see on the map was Rozliv. Rozliv is north of Yasna Polyana, and this is already reported by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry that the Russians are attacking near Rozliv as already, including Sukiali. So the Russians are now already making progress in that direction and around Sukiali. So this is currently already happening. It looks like Maximivka there's hardly much resistance given the fact that the reporting is already moving up north. So we shall see, how this collapse will continue to develop and where it will be the next major defense line. So over in the Zaporizhzhia front, nothing at the Huyapole sector. Over the Kharkiv sector, there is fighting reported in the region south of Kharkiv. Whoops, I have a phone call, and then I'm now lost. So fighting is reported towards Novodanilivka and in the region of Nestryanka, and there is geolocation of the frontline change, but this frontline change is basically invalidation of Ukrainian claim. The Russian has already claimed this area here. Basically, it's just mainly this tree line and some of this forest here. Given the fact that the Russians are here, I believe this area here under Russian control makes perfect sense. So I map it to coincide with the Russian mapping. So that's all from this area at the Kharkiv sector of the Zaporizhzhia front. And otherwise, we go to the Kherson front. At the Kherson front, We have shelling reported at Stepney. Ukrainian Defense Ministry continue to mention about the fighting in the Pridniprovsk direction. Shellings reported at Komishani, but that's about it. So, yep, that's it. So, this is the situation report or the summary for the day of 988 for the 7th of November. Press the like button, subscribe. Yeah, I'm not saying for fun. No, really. No, I know you watch every video. They all say the same thing. Yeah, but no, look below. 100K is very close. Help me. And I'll see you guys in the next update.